over here, looking good. Perfect, perfect. Get this one to fire up. Excellent. You guys are looking fantastic today. Let's see, there we go. Sweet, 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 sweet. Okay. Perfection, you guys. Perfection. There we go. All right. Let's get over here. Hi, I'm Paint with Josh. Welcome to the show. We're going to do a cool little winter scene. A couple little sticky trees in the front. It's a very simple little scene for you to learn how to do today. So, I'm going to tell you what I've done to my canvas so far as I get my Prussian blue or ultramarine blue or phthalo blue, whatever you have, onto my brush, right? I have a 20-inch by 24-inch canvas, and I've covered it in all places with Bob Ross liquid white, right? So you get this liquid white base. It's very wet, it's very slick, and we're ready to go, right? So the only reason we use that liquidy white base is because it allows our paint to just slide and blend like you've never seen a sky before. These oil paints, they're very thick in their consistency. They're just very crazily thick paints. And so you need your wet surface in order to slide across and blend and do all the stuff that we gotta do, right? And you can see just by blending this sky out, you don't even need to put paint everywhere in order to have a cool looking sky. And we'll go back and we'll blend it a little bit more a little bit later on, but you could literally leave it just like that. I've seen a sky like that before. Let's get a little bit more blue onto our brush. Let's drop down, right? The more blue that you have on the canvas, the more vibrant it will be, of course. So you put it on there, giving it a starting point, knowing it's going to grow and it's going to continually blend and mix in with all of that liquid white that's all over our canvas, right? Continually blend and blend and blend. Let's get a little bit more blue up here. I wanted a deeper, darker blue. There. Which is why you can use your Prussian blue or a lot of your phthalo blue. This is ultramarine blue from Meaden. It's a really cool color, and the more you put on there, the deeper and darker it's going to be, right? Now, let's allow some of our color to kind of flow off of our brush, fall down here, and then we're going to add a little bit of our black, and then we're going to be all set and ready to go, you guys. This is a lot of sky in this painting for sure. You see, the more that you mix in with that liquid white, the more of your color falls off your brush, the lighter it gets. See what I mean? Now we have a dark side into light, and we have a dark into light, because it's continually mixing in, blending in with the liquid white that's already on the canvas. That's one of the secret ingredients, is having that liquid white up there. Now, I never like a sky just to be all blue, so I'll take a little bit of my black. This is the Bob Ross black. You can see it's got a little bit of skin on it. There we go. I can see it. I can see it coming to life. Now, the Bob Ross black is not a very deep, dark black color. It blends away very simply and very easily the more that you mix it, right? So, if you're using a different kind of black that's a lot darker, you're going to want to use much less of it. And that way, it won't overtake your entire sky, right? Now, looks like a pretty cool sky to me. Let's go back and blend it out. We'll see what it looks like by the time it gets all blended. But we can't very well blend it with so much paint on our brush, right? So, let's get over here. Shake this guy off. There we go. Into the old bucket. Just beat the bejesus out of it. It's just crazy. Okay. Now, you always have to dab off your brush on a paper towel before you go back and start your blending. I'm telling you that for a reason, because you need to do it. Otherwise, your brush may be too wet, okay? Now, where are we going to start? If we're going to start blending, where should we start in our sky? Should we start in the lightest section? Should we start in the darkest section? Should we start in the blue, the white, the black? Where should we start? You tell me. As I kick this the tripod around. Got Max Squatch in the house. All over the place, guys. I paint in a big, large studio. We've got fans going, and the air is circulating around. So we're gonna start in our lightest area, of course. We have to start in the lightest spot first. Right? Start blending it, crisscrossing. This canvas is a little bit bigger, so we may need a few more swipes of the old brush in order to blend it, right? I always say the longer you take on your sky, the better your painting is gonna be, you know what I mean? You just whip something out there real quick. Sure, it may look real cool, But the longer that you blend and you get this nice soft little thing out there, the more you're gonna like it and the more it's going to show through the painting, right? So, taking this color at the bottom of our black, sort of blending it down into the blue area. And you can see the streaks will disappear the more you mix and mix and mix and mix and mix, letting it get lighter and lighter and lighter as it goes down. Isn't that a cool little sky? Already, we haven't even added any clouds, but already it looks like there's clouds because of how we deposited our paint, right? Go back and forth across the entire thing, and it won't move because we've already blended it out, right? That was always tripped me out when I watched Bob paint. I would look at it and go, how does he swipe across and all the color doesn't just immediately go and drag it across, right? Because it's blended out very soft. So now up here is just the same amount of softness, right, as down on the unpainted area. Remember, your canvas has to be wet in order for this to work. By the way, hi, I'm Paint with Josh. Don't know if you've ever seen me before. Maybe you only recognize the back of my hand, but this is me, and this is what we do. We teach you guys live and for free every night. Well, not every night, 5 nights a week, but most nights we're up here teaching you for free. Now that we've got a bit of color into our little blended sky, and you can't really tell, you know what I mean? Nothing's real harsh up there. Now let's go get a little bit of white onto a fan brush. I like using a fan brush because it's more random. It's just weird when you pop it up there, and that's what clouds are. They're just weird, right? So we'll get a bunch of white onto our fan brush because the blue is going to want to turn our white blue instantly, right? So we're going to aim for that lighter colored area. Let's start from down here. Just push and try to get the most amount of paint to come off of the brush as possible, right? Just blast it out there. Come back where it's a bit thicker where we very first put it on and spread it out that way, right? Just literally mushing it and pushing it onto the canvas. Go back. You can see how blue the brush gets. Back, get a little bit more white paint on both sides. We're trying to load up the brush full of nastiness. Let's drop down, leaving a little space in between. Out here, a little bit more of a space in between. And why do we leave these spaces in between? Does anybody know? Why would you leave a space in between your cloudy mush? Anybody know out there? We'll come in with our Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. The gorgeous Paint with Josh 1-inch brushes. You can find my brushes on paintwithjosh.com. Just keep scrolling down towards the bottom and you'll see them down there. So you start to mix these two piles of paint together, and by leaving an empty space in between, we've guaranteed that there's a little shadow, there's a little difference, there's a little something happening in there because of the random way that we put it on. And the spaces in between, and we can mix and push and pull and blend, and the more hard that you push on it, the softer the cloud will become. The less hard that you're pushing on it, the harder and more visible your cloud will become, right? So you're deciding how you want it to look. You can sit and blend it and blend it and blend it until it's soft enough for you, right? Because it's all about you and how you want your clouds to be. There's gonna be a lot of clouds in this painting, so I hope you came to practice. Now, I need to get a few more of my 3 favorite colors, right? Our Bob Ross black, our ultramarine blue, or your Bob Ross blues, whichever the 2 blues are, and the crimson color, and then of course the white, which is, I think, leaking out of my tube. So we're gonna get these guys out here. We need more white first so we can do some more clouds, right? God, I hate when tubes get like this, when they have a little burst in the side, and then you're just fighting that burst the entire time until you finally get run out of your tube and you can open up a new one. Okay, so you guys tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you guys are right now, right? For me, it's 5:10. We've done half of a wicked sky in just 10 minutes. From a bare blank canvas, right? You guys can do it too. I know you can. I already know you can. You just have to make that initial jump and try it. It's like bungee jumping. You can do it, you just gotta jump off the platform. You'll be okay. There we go. All right, now we're gonna grab a little bit more of our white paint onto that same old fan brush, right? It's going to mix. This is turning a little bit blue, so let's wipe it on a paper towel. Try to wipe off and scrub off, just going like this on a paper towel, trying to literally remove the paint, okay? We'll come in here. You can see now we're not tainting that white pile. because we've wiped off the majority of the blue. Let's drop down, right? Leaving that little dark section underneath. Actually, you can even come in here, the little touch of our black, get up underneath your cloud, and just make a weird old darker section, right? You want to literally be random. It does not have to look perfect or whatever. You just want to be a little random and weird. So grab a little bit of paint, throw it up there randomly, okay? Literally, throw it up there randomly, wipe off the darkness, and come back and blend it. And the dark's gonna wanna disappear as well because there's a lot of bright up there. So you get to decide how far your dark goes, how dark you keep it. Do you blend it out a little bit more? Do you push on it a little harder, right? All up to however you want the painting to look. I just wanted a little bit more darkness underneath those guys. Now, with this whole chunk of my white, okay, because there's a lot of color up here, we need a lot of white. Look at this, all right? Turning the brush, rotating it, pushing it, spreading it out, getting it all over the place, right? Leave a little section in between your two clouds so we know they're not the same. And maybe this guy pops up over here and crisscrosses in front of his other little cloudy friend in the background. All up to us. Distance in between, all up to you. How much? How close do you want these two? And remember, we have to then put a chunk of paint down underneath, loading it up, making it random, making it however I want it to be, right? The more white that I put up there, the brighter it's gonna be. The less white that you put up there, the less bright it's gonna be. We'll come back with our Paint with Josh 1-inch brush again. Haven't washed it, haven't cleaned it, and we're just gonna mix up in little counterclockwise circles, right? Until our cloud starts looking however we want it to look. You want it to drag over this way? Drag it over that way. You wanna work it in clockwise circles and come over this side? Do whatever you wanna do, just mix it up, right? That's all we're trying to do. Mix it up, keeping those two separate. Not everything needs to touch out there in the night, right? And then we can decide how soft, how, thick you want your clouds. And again, the softer that you touch it, the more rough your clouds will be. The harder that you're pushing with your pressure, the more soft they will be because you're going to blend them more, right? So over your real bright areas, or at least areas that you would like to keep bright, don't push so hard, right? Over the areas that you want to mix away, push a little bit harder and have them blend away, right? It's all up to us. Exactly. Every time that we go to use it, how do you want it to look? I don't know how many times I say it every stream. It's up to you guys, okay? Now, maybe, just maybe, since we've got a lot of sky, this is a big sky painting, let's get a little bit of our white down here, all right? Way down on the horizon, let's just throw in a little flatter. These ones always, to me, look so much further away because of how light it will become, okay? Let's get a little bit higher on this one side. Now, it's going to blend in, it's going to mix away, that's okay, right? We know that. We just want to retain a little bit of that whiteness out there. So as we mix, Paint with Josh 1-inch brush, get these very cool, random little places. If you don't have the Paint with Josh brushes, what are you doing? Get over there and get the Paint with Josh brush set. I'm telling you, it's a limited run, and there's only a few left. So if you want to get yours, right, get over there. Plus, they don't pay me until all of them sell out. So if you could get over there and just make them sell out, then I could actually receive some income from it, which would be awesome. It's been like 18 months from the beginning of the brushes and the design and all that stuff until finally they released. And then maybe eventually we may see something from them. There we go. Look at that, guys. Those differences. See how these are mixed further? They look further away. Now, let's come in here. We're going to mix up a bit of our Paint with Josh plaque. Get that plaque mixed up. Does anybody out there know the 3 colors that it takes in order to make Paint with Josh plaque? Since we're only using 4 colors, maybe 5, all right, maybe 6. We'll see. We'll see by the time we get down to it. We're going to try to stick to only 4 colors. I love doing limited palette scenes, right? Which means limited colors, and I love doing limited tools as well. So you don't have to go buy every color in the book, and you don't have to go get every brush or get an entire brush kit. You can kind of piece them together and work and make your painting come out, just because I know you just want to try it. You don't want to go and blast all that money out there buying the whole thing, right? So, in any case, the Paint with Josh brush is available for about 110 bucks. You can grab those over on paintwithjosh.com. So, let's come over here and let's get our bushy brush, okay? I want to get down here with my big old bushy brush. We're going to get a little bit of our white into it, right? Just a good amount of our white, because I don't want the plaque to be so plaque. See how it's already getting lighter? And the more that we pull down into that white, it's kind of changing it into a lighter gray color. And then I can decide when it's dark enough for me. That's gonna be perfect right there. Let's drop down under our clouds and pop down a few little things and just black out or gray out the entire area beyond, okay? You have to come up and cover some of your clouds. I don't want to hear it. You have to. It's not an option. You have to come up, right? So we're kissing the cloud right there, everywhere else is underneath, but you have to come up and hit that cloud somewhere. Otherwise, nothing looks like it's in the distance, okay? Over here, over there, we're getting a little bit light on the colors. Let's get a little bit darker. There we go. And off to the side. And then we're literally just gonna make a whole big mess under this thing. Like tapping in, boom, 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 side to side. What does Josh always say? Don't go side to side with your trees. What did we just do? We just went side to side. But just like that, pushes those clouds and that sky because of this guy right here, right? If this cloud wasn't here and there was too much distance in between, it could look odd, okay? So make sure you got a bit of brightness or something down there to project your darkness up into, okay? Now, we're gonna take our 1-inch brush, use the Paint with Josh 1-inch brush if you want, and you can either dab down at it like this in order to create that misty fogginess. Right? All we're doing is taking some of the gray, tapping it down into the white, and then when we come back up here, we're depositing that white before we take the gray back down. So it's just a little flip-flopper. It's just a little switcheroo over here. And we're literally just tapping at it at an angle. We're not straight on. Now it sounds different. You want the bristles to bend like that, to where some of them aren't even touching the canvas, right? That's all you gotta do. Then make sure that this line is not just a straight line across. Please, please don't do that, okay? Same thing, look at the sharp angle that we're at on the canvas. It's very vertical. We're just trying to hit it and allow the colors and allow the bristles to spread out, just like that. And again, dip up, down, up, down, up, down. It's not all just the same. Remember, we're only saving about the inch to 2 inches of our trees from the top. So everything else underneath does not matter. Forget about it, man. Get to the chopper. Forget about it, because you don't need to worry, okay? Now we're gonna come in here. Same thing, Paint with Josh brush. You gotta have them. If you don't have yours already, you're missing out. We're gonna start mixing it up, mixing it up, mixing it up. Turning it into a little cloudy, misty fogginess. Right, again, the more that you're pushing on it, the more it's gonna blend away. It's exactly what we need right there, right? The more that it blends, the more it'll turn into snow, basically. You'll start seeing snow with your horizontal streaks, and all of a sudden now we've got this little bit of land, and we didn't have to paint it, right? That's the main goal, is try to keep that bottom part white for as long as possible, okay? Now, we get to decide where we want to have our foreground come in, but we don't have enough plaque to make it happen. I want to get rid of all that plaque with my white paint that was in it. That way we've got our pure plaque mix come in here with the blue, the black, the crims, and we'll start to lay it down, mushing it flat. And at this moment, I'd like to ask you guys where you're watching from, right? And what time is it? Check in where you're watching from, one or the other, and I'll come back here and try to read some comments. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Cosmic Lighthouse. She's modding all over the place. She's a stupid Arnold. She's a superstar. Let's see. Colorado, Pennsylvania, Las Vegas. I used to live there. UK, Sweden, Arizona, Santa Fe, Nevada. Let's see. Washington, Corpus Christi, Sweden, Kansas, Cyprus, Alabama, Virginia. You guys are typing them in way too fast for me. I can't read them that fast. So let's mix up our blue, black, and crimson paint to make our Paint with Josh black mix, right? That's what we call it. It's a very purplish, blackish paint. You take your blue and crimson, make purple, add that little touch of black to really darken it up, and you get your Paint with Josh black mix, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is first drop down just a smiling, glad, elated little tree over there, right? As we drop down, we're gonna pull down on this paint. It's just an elated little tree, because we can't say the other thing, we get sued. Come over here like this. Taking that dark paint, we gotta go above our trees, right? Let's leave a bit of space. Imagine you've got about a hand's worth of space here and about 2 hands worth of space over here. So in between those guys, drop it down, bang. What about this tree right here? Makes him look like he's in front of all the other trees as we get up here and we just start pushing in. Full pressure, right? Very light pressure initially. So you have a very sharp little tip top. And the more you're going in, the more you're hitting that canvas, dropping off this very thick, very dark paint, right? You try to do it off of one side first, just to show you. Kind of hitting the trunk and popping out, popping out, popping out. How far are you gonna go outwards, right? Same thing off of this guy. We're gonna hit the trunk this way and pop them out, pop them out. Go back in, out, back in, out, back in. Make it look weird, make it look odd. They don't even have to look symmetrical. That's the best part about the trees out there. Nothing has to be anything, right? How far do you want it to come down and sit? You want it to keep growing? Get a little taller? Up to you where you want it to be. I always go down a bit further than we need to, and that way we'll have something to drag outwards. Now let's start up higher, meet at a lower spot, and then end up at a higher spot again. We're gonna make a little triangle off our tree. Then we're gonna start up higher, we're gonna drag it out. Long strokes, lots of pressure. Drag it out, we're gonna end at a lower space. See how we're down at that little angle? Start the same spot over here, pull it out, getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And all of a sudden, now your tree looks more rounded because of where we have pulled on our brush, right? So each time you do yours, you can do it a little different. You can do it exactly the same, doesn't matter to me, right? You're deciding how you want it to look each time just by pulling on that paint. And all of a sudden now, what makes this tree look like it's in front of that other bit of forest back there? Anybody? Does anybody know why it looks closer? That's what I love about oil paints too. You can go back up, change little things in your sky. The white line, okay, so you're talking about the mist and the horizon of the new guy, the shadow. It's bigger, it's darker, it's taller. It's darker, it's in front. Man, you guys are smarties. Your little smarty pants is over there because you said so. I like that. All right, I like that. Now, let's decide. It's looking like this was the darker side of our sky first, but now we put all those clouds there. It became the brighter side of our sky. So, yeah. Now let's imagine our sun is over here somewhere, meaning we're gonna highlight the right side of our tree, putting our shadows on the blue side, meaning we'll have brighter snow on this side, shadowy snow on this side, and we'll make it work, guys. So in order to do your shadowy snow, let's just do that real quick. Get a little bit of white, a little bit of our blue, a little bit of white, a little bit of our blue. Okay, we'll come out here, and with that little touch of a blue tinge to the paint, and slide it down however far you want. We're gonna end up cutting in front of all of this anyway. You just need something there in order for our foreground to stand out. Right? So it's just a little bit of quote unquote snow. A little bit. You can have it look however you want. You can make it brighter. You don't have to have it be so dark. It just needs to be darker than our other bit, right? All of a sudden, changing what it looks like. Right? Get a lot more white onto this side. And so when you dump it off, it's much brighter. So you got your white snow and then your shadowy side. Right? Same thing. Eventually they'll meet down here somewhere, and then we can sort of decide what we want them to look like. Dragging it back up into that tree. We're pulling off harder on this side, pushing more. So you're blending it in more. So you got your light side and your dark side. Very cool, guys, very cool. Hey, let's get over here into our liquid white and over into our phthalo blue or your Prussian blue or your ultramarine blue. Doesn't matter, just one of those blues, okay? Gonna get it onto our brush. Does anybody know why we use the liquid white and what the liquid white does to our paint? As we come up here and just start tapping in different places, leaving spaces in between. Please, if you tap the entire thing and it's all the same amount of blue and no little gaps in between, it's not going to look right. I'm telling you from experience, okay? Leave the spaces, don't have everything looking exactly the same, and already you can see some depth into that tree. Now we're gonna clean off our brush and do it with white. There we go. So we've got our liquid white, which again makes our paint much thinner, makes it more easy to fall off the brush. Our liquid white into our titanium white, because you can't just use one or the other. Come over here, little tap, stay on the outside edge first, all the way on the outside. Don't have to cover everything, but stay out there before you move back up the center. And all of a sudden, you got yourself a little Christmas tree, just like that. He's gorgeous, you guys. I love him. Look at it. It's fantastic. All right. Now we're gonna get freaking crazy, my friends, okay? Because that's our mid-ground. Now comes the foreground, and boy, oh boy, Josh, you better have some more paint. Actually, do you guys think that I have enough paint in this pile to make a big old monstrous sticky tree right up here in our foreground? Do you think so? Yes or no? That's all I gotta type in. Yes or no? I'm gonna condense the pile. I just loaded a bunch of it onto the brush, and there's that much left. So do you think, yes or no, that we have enough paint left in that pile in order to make some top to bottom trees over here? You tell me. We got no, we got yes, we got all sorts of stuff, guys. This is when your big old monster, you know, test. Are you a brave knight? Can you do this? Right? We're gonna come over here. Not all of them have to be the same, but they gotta start getting fatter and fatter. So by pushing in more, right? And then we're gonna have to go over them again, and we'll drop them down. And now, what makes this tree right here look like it's in front of all those other trees back there? He's got a big old monstrous trunk. Pow! Here, there, darking out everything that's back there. Right? And what makes this guy stand out as in the front? He's got another little guy back here. You really need a lot of dark paint, I told you. I told you. I didn't know if we were gonna have enough. You guys said that we would. I said I don't know. Right? So, let's come over here. Just like that. Now what makes these guys in front of everything else in the background back there? And then we're gonna go add 10 million branches off of these dudes. So don't you even fret. Let's come down like that, make them a little bit thicker. Bang, right into here. We'll pop some bushes in between them so they don't have to touch. Right? We'll pop some bushes in the front, make them look real close. But the size, right, the darkness, its top and its bottom, that's what makes these trees look like they're closer than everything else. Bang. This, the height, and then where they sit down here, okay? Oh, I just love him. Now, we've got to get out here with our liner brush and throw down 1 million branches, okay? So what we're gonna do is get as much of our odorless mineral spirits as we can onto our palette. See how it's becoming very runny? It's wanting to drip down. So we get a bunch of that stuff, and then we're just gonna launch out branch after branch after little old branch coming off of this tree. But your paint has to be wet enough. It has to be able to come off of your brush easily. That's the only way you're going to get branches that are sharp, right? Is if it's able to come off of your brush easily. Now you can add as many branches as you want. They can go in as many directions. They can crisscross. They can do whatever you want them to do, right? It's your little trees out here, and they get to be as big. Watch, we can even make this guy like twice the size just by going over him again, extending it out, and now he can grow a bit further because his trunk is a little bit fatter where it connects onto his tree, right? Now we're almost through with all of that odorless mineral spirits, just after 5 or 6 little branches. So go back, get some more, and then we'll sit here and we'll make branches for the next 20 minutes. I don't know, something like that. Right? You guys are gonna decide how many you want, how many to crisscross, but you need the odorless mineral spirits with your oil paint so it's thin enough to come off of the brush. If it's not coming off of your brush easy, then your mixture is not correct. You need to go back and change it. Off of this guy here, we got a little hump and a bump. Maybe he's got another little branch. And we got humps and bumps off of this guy over here, and he's whoop, going out that way. Where do you want it to be, right? We're pushing full pressure in the beginning, and then we're pulling away and away and away to give it a sharp tip to the tree. Over here, crisscross, and put these guys out wherever you want them to be. Honestly, wherever. Right? You're adding as many or as few as you want. It's all up to you. Bounce your hand around. Right? I'll give you a couple of those little kinks and bends, all on their own. Okay? We're deciding how many, how far. And while we're painting all these crazy old branches, why don't you guys check in? Tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? Let's get back here. Perfect. Get a bit of darkness on this tree. There we go. Now stand up. Excellent. Right? So you guys tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you're at right now? We're gonna put as many little branches on these guys as we see fit. Right? We're in control about how many go on, where they're going to, if they cut in front of or go behind certain trees, right? All up to us. Actually, that guy might go behind and then cut in front, right? Right through the little V in the tree. But it's all up to us. How many, how far, this, that, and the other, right? You put as many or as few as you want. The more you put out there, the more you're gonna like it. I'm telling you. It looks a little funky until you get all these little guys out there. And they're all playing together, having a good old chime, right? Crisscrossing, growing from everywhere. Wherever. Bink, bink. However. Right, you got some growing up ways, sideways, back ways, away ways, all the ways, halfway. You, again, can do whatever and however many you feel like when you're doing your tree. Very cool. Very cool, guys. Okay, let's pop off another little guy over here. A little bit bigger. Our centerpiece is much bigger, so then we'll go over that spot twice. Zip, slide it out over there. Pop this area, bink, bump, beep. However many we want, okay? Do you guys think that's enough, or should we do some more? You tell me, is that enough branches? Or should we do more? That guy got real big, and real tall, and real long, right? So, should we stop now, or should we do more? You let me know. Remember, Paint with Josh brushes, the Paint with Josh liner brush, absolutely the best brush you'll ever use in your life. You can only get these in the Paint with Josh kit, so get over to paintwithjosh.com and grab your brush kit now. Very cool. Let's take, maybe, right there. Bink. Slide it through. They're all crisscrossy and wild, right? Wild. Should we stop? Should we do more? They say more, they say stop, they say everything. So, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna mix up a bit more of our Paint with Josh plaque mix, because we've done run out, and that's okay. Mix it up down here. Oh, crazily thick and nasty, okay? And then we're going to put in some bushes down at the base of our little guy. But we've gotta use our bushy brush. It's gotta be the deepest, darkest plaque you can possibly have, which is why we made this a little bit less, why that guy's a little darker, why these guys are the most darkest, right? Come up here and let's just decide wherever you want them to be. Bang, want them right there, have them right there. However you feel like, right? All up to you. Just make sure that there's enough and they're down far enough that our perspective is gonna look out for us, right? Didn't even touch that area over there. haven't even gone over it. Let's just just because, just so we can say we painted every area of the canvas. But look at that, right? You don't need much more than that, you guys, honestly. Okay, we're gonna start up a little higher. Again, I work down, and blend all these guys out. This will all turn into snowy, shadowy goodness. Okay, and you can keep going because you don't want to start coming down and then start climbing up. So if anything, let's black out the whole bottom of this thing. Covering our sides, and that way our canvas is all complete around the edges and everything. And then, as you're coming down here, getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, almost all the way off the canvas. And that slight downward angle is going to help with your perspective, okay? You can also come up side like that, right? Not everything has to be perfect, but you better change your angles if you're gonna do that in order for it to show. That's looking really cool. That is looking really cool. Okay, let's get over here. We're now going to highlight this guy with a bunch of our white, a bunch of our blue, not a bunch of blue, but a bunch of white paint, a little bit of blue so it turns bluey. I need some bluey old shadows back in here that need to be bluier than that. That was too much white. There, right? This is the Paint with Josh philosophy, okay? When we're starting out in the distance, we're using a less bright whites, mixing in all the time. Even if we're doing a mountain, right? We're tainting the white and making our shadows very bright. And as we get closer, our shadows have to get darker. So the shadow paint is light out here, it's darker here. Our shadowy blue is lighter there and darker there, right? So if these guys are a little bit closer, they need to be a little bit darker, but not pure straight up blue. Now, we're gonna scrape up a little amount of this blue right here. A little bit on the end of our little palette tool. We're imagining all of our light based off our tree over here. It's coming in from the left, so we're gonna tap in on our tree. Just tapping at it, okay? So we're picking up a little roll, just like that. Coming over here and we're tapping, 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 and moving. And so it's not depositing it all into one place. So we'll come tap it up here, we'll tap it over there, and we'll rock and roll and tappy, 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 right? Not every place has to have a blue shadowy bark or vice versa, a white shadowy bark, right? It doesn't have to be there on every spot of every tree. Otherwise, there would be no darkness of our tree, right? We need that dark part of our tree to help it look round. Okay, so we're gonna come down the back side, just kind of tapping, tapping, tapping. You don't want it to be perfect, remember, this is why we tap it in at random. Tap it, tap it, tap it, and that way it's gonna look more realistic. The more random that we are, the more realistic it shall look, okay? Even back here, let's tap on these little guys. Tappy, 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 tappy. The more we tappy taps, the more and more and more darkness we're gonna cover up. Okay, so we cannot, under any circumstances, cover the entire dark shadow. That's not going to work. Josh will be angry at us if we do that. Right? We have to leave that dark shadow because that makes our trees look round. Okay, now, oh, that's gonna be gorgeous, my friends. We got one more little blue trunky bit right inside here. Just kind of tapping at him, tapping at him, tapping at him, okay? All of a sudden, it looks very cool, right? Almost looks like our light's coming from this way because we're not finished, my friends. We're gonna get that white, our titanium white, and pull it down over here. It's got a little twinge of blue in it, that's okay. That's all right. We're gonna grab the white, and again, touch and tap, and touch and tap. And we're gonna make it look weird. We're not trying to make it be perfect, right? We're trying to have it look weird. And doesn't that look like tree bark? You can be honest. You can tell me, right? Or at least some snow-covered something or other. Now, on your branches, because we used our odorless mineral spirits, the branches are very wet, right? And you can only get paint to stick onto them if it's a thinner, wetter paint. And so what do we have to do in order to get our titanium white to become thinner? Well, we're gonna use that Bob Ross liquid white, kind of mix it in, and then very lightly tap into different places, remembering that not every piece of your branch has to have snow. Not every bit is gonna have the same amount of snow as every other bit. right? We're in control. We are deciding where the branches come out, how far, this, that, and the other. If you're having trouble getting the white to stick and stay white, add your liquid white. That's gonna help it come off with less taps. And we're gonna be able to do more things. Right? If you don't like a certain area, tap it until it's gone. You're in control, guys. Literally, you are in control. Sometime, there we go. We can take it away if there's a little bit too much, just by kind of scraping at it, if you're lucky enough. Remember, not all of the dark branch gets to be covered. You have to leave some of that darkness out there. Okay, we're gonna come up the edge over here. Tapping, not trying to cover all of our blue. We need the blue in order for the white to stand out. The blue has to be there. Remember, you don't have to go all the way up on any of the branches. The branches at the very top especially can be sort of silhouette-y because it's hard for our brain to pick up the white snow on the tip top of the branch against all that light sky color. It's just, in real life even, it's just hard to do. Which is why when you look at the branches in real life, they're gonna look like a silhouette because you can't see all the brown against all your supremely bright blue sky, right? Look here, tap, 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 tap. Now, doesn't that look like just a little snow-covered, just elated little tree out there in the night? Isn't that cool? Very simple. Again, we're trying not to cover all of the dark, so get out there as far as you can without covering everything. You're gonna be happier with it. Remember, go back to your liquid white and your titanium white. You have to have them both. If you're having trouble with it sticking, you gotta get back there with your liquid white, titanium white mix. And if you drop on too much, pick it up, move it, go back down, pick it up, move it, right? Continually tapping is gonna help you blend it out, okay? This last little tree back here is a little harder to see. We don't need to see every bit of everything. Just a little taparooski. And again, it doesn't even need to go all the way up. Honestly, it doesn't even need to go all the way up. Because you're not expecting it to be on every branch of every tree trunk all the way up to the top. Sure, these bigger guys that have a lot of space, sure, I'd be expecting to see some snowy bark up there. But the ones that are a little further away, maybe they're a little skinnier, they don't have as much, right? We can't see as much. We're doing that for a reason, my friends, because our eye doesn't want to see all white or all blue. It just doesn't want to happen like that. So, only cover small amounts, very little amounts of your dark branches, okay? Now, off of our shadowy side, we're gonna need to have some of our liquid white, titanium white, and a little bit of our blue, okay? Because we're gonna put some of that shadowy snow on our branches as well. And if we want it to come off, we need that liquid white. We just gotta have it, right? So on our backside, we tap on a little bit of blue. And that guy's got some blue on it. This guy's got some blue off a hand. Doesn't have to go everywhere. Not every piece has to be fully covered. Not every piece needs any at all, right? It's all up to you guys. When you go to do yours, how much you put on there, right? You are in control, not me. I'm just here to show you how to do some cool stuff. You're gonna take it and run with it and go do your own thing, right? So, just don't overdo the shadowing or your highlighty bits by covering too much of that darkness, okay? I'm just asking you as a friend, please don't cover up. Ooh, what if we connect that guy? Oh, you guys, that's cool. That's cool, but if we're gonna make it look like that, we gotta have a little bit of our dark underneath it as well. Yes! See how it's going out and around? This one looks like it broke off, and that side's around the dark side of our tree, pops out into the light. Very cool, very cool. Again, you look at it, you see where you feel like you might have a little bit of light or whatever, and then you put it there. It's all up to you. You guys. It's up to you guys. Man, it's cool, cool, cool looking, my friends. Wicked, wicked neat. Honeybees is back. Goodness gracious. Oh, Berg sent me a $10 super thanks. Honeybees got this one, guys. Hello, yeah. Hang on. I gotta get the, hey! Oh, let's go, guys. I love that. That always makes for a better night. Let's get over here, tapping on a bit more of our bright white snow, especially down on our guy that's gonna catch the most amount of that light. Gorgeous. That's a bit too bright, so we can tap at it and tap at it and tap at it and tap at it. Dull it down to whatever we want it to be, guys. Oh, that's so fantastic. Okay, let's get over here. We're gonna get a little touch of our liquid white onto our bushy brush. We're gonna go out here into our blue, because we gotta have the bluery. All right, over there, tapping into the blue. It's very deep, dark blue, but it's a little bit wetter, so it will come off of our brush with easier taps, right? When you're doing your highlights, you do not want to push full blast. Full pressure on your highlights is bad. That's a no-no. Do not do that, okay? Popping this one guy down there too. Right? Very light pressure when we're doing our highlights. We're using full pressure when we're putting on the dark shadow. We're using very light pressure when we're attaching those highlights, because if you use full pressure, you're gonna make mud. You ever made mud before? I have. I've done it. I'm sure you've done it too. We can actually get out here. That was the Paint with Josh bushy brush. All right, we can get out here with the Bob Ross oval brush as well. Liquid white into our titanium white. Over here, tapping on. Not even trying to cover all the darkness between the light and the blue, right? Little things. Having it fade down. Okay, wipe your brush off, dab it off on a paper towel. Come back over, more liquid white, more titanium white, dabbing it in, very light pressure. Here we go, light, light, light. Maybe we skip an area. You have that shadowy spot back there. Same thing over here. Light, 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 light pressure. So light. Okay? The more dark, the more times you tap in, the more brightness you give to it, the more it's going to be flat. Okay? We don't want it to be flat. We want it to be really cool out there, guys. So, don't have it be too flat. There we go. Take this guy and drag it over here. Dragging these guys up into it. That way we can say we at least painted the whole canvas. There we go. Our brushes touch somewhere along this canvas once or twice. Look at that, guys. You can even take some of that liquid white, titanium white mix, because the liquid white's gonna help it come off, and we don't need to attach anything else into this painting, right? This is it. So if you have a very wet, liquidy bottom, right, then that's okay, because we don't have to add anything else on top of it. Throw a couple little bits of our white back up in there, and then let's leave a really dark space back here, because not every bit has to be lit up, right? Keep that darkness back there, blend it in with that gray. Gorgeous. Yes! That looks fantastic. Fantastic. Very, very, very cool, guys. Okay, so Honeybees needs to pick a title for this painting. Maybe she has already picked one, right? And she's already got it in her mind. It's loaded, it's ready, it's in there, ready to come out, right? Or maybe she needs your help in deciding what we may want to call this painting. Right? Let's go like this and go, caw-caw, just whipping through the night. So she may need help in titling this painting. So what would you call it if you were me and you had just finished it, right? Because whether you know or not, if you get a painting during the live show, you get to then choose its title forever, right? So if you're ever wondering, how does Josh come up with all those titles? I don't, the viewers do. The viewers are the ones, guys. You guys are the ones. I am so thirsty, it's not even funny. Man, that's an awesome little painting. Now, one of my favorite things to do on a white canvas, okay, is the sticks and twigs that you get, right? So, if you come down into your dark area and just use the point of your palette tool, and scrape up little places, right? Little things. They'll end up looking like little stems that are holding up all these little flowers and different little such back there in your scene, right? You get to decide how many you want to put in there, how few. It's all up to you guys. Man, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna wash off some brushes. You guys come up with a title, and then Honeybees gets to pick the title and tell us what to name the painting. You know what we need right here? Just one little smooshery. Just a little smooch. Hey, right there. Catching the light. Very cute, my friends. We're gonna put a little bit of darkness there. Right there. That's it. That one little piece of dark. So come up with a title, my friends. My guys and gals and painting pals. You let me know. Let me know. Okay. We got a couple more to do, guys. So come up with a title. Type it in. And then Honeybees will select her favorite one. And then that becomes the name of the painting. I need to get some more thinner here very soon. And a new paint bucket. If anybody has an old paint bucket laying around, you just send that over to me at the studio, that'd be fine. That would be fine. Okay, my friends. Last brush going. And then we're gonna pick a title. Pick the old title. Boom, guys. Okay, what we got going so far? Like it, like it, like it. Okay, let me flip this camera around just so we can see here. Thanks, Jacob, appreciate you. Thank you, appreciate you guys. Ken says Winter Meadow. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Bergs, you're awesome for that super over there. Forever remembered in honor of her sons. Okay, forever remembered it is. I feel you. Go. So thirsty, you guys, it's not even funny. Literally, supreme dry mouth. Insane dry mouth. There we go. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Just like that. Over here, over there. Number 1848, I think. 1840, I'm pretty sure it's 8. Anybody? In memory of Dev and Jimmy, 100%. Forever remembered. We can do that. Okay, 1848. Okay, put the title back up. Forever remembered. Okay. Bring it on. 5/16. Actually, pin what I need to write. The top for the sons. Pin that, please. Thank you, my wonderful mods. Paint it on 5/16/25, and then what? Why am I looking up there? I know what the website is. I know what the website is. There. Okay, what are we gonna write on the top? In memory of Dev and Jimmy. Sweet. Perfection. I like it. My friends, guys and gals, let's get the top of this guy real fast. It's always the last bit to do is the bit where the easel just doesn't reach, right? The brush can't get to it because the easel's sitting right there. So thank you so much, Honeybees. Honeybees has been on a roll buying lots of paintings from Paint Josh, so I very much appreciate you. And this one just came out fantastic. Fabulous. Look at it. It's amazing. Woo-hoo. That's gorgeous. I really, really, really like it. There's a chunk out there. There we go. Okay, let me wash this brush off one more time. One more time. And then I'm going to say to all you Facebookers and YouTubers over there, I can't wait to see your guys' versions of this painting. Please send them in to me on Facebook or on Instagram at Official Paint with Josh on Facebook or at Paint with Josh K on Instagram. Can't wait to see your guys' versions. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day and blah, blah. Boosh!